Joe and Sakila.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Let's see, so it's not quite 9 o'clock yet, so let's see, we got Mr. Anderson and Ms. Smith.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Some preliminary things. One of the things that I've been, as all of us, we've been doing with Zoom here for the past year, but I'm still not that comfortable with it. So I don't have in the file, anybody's exhibits. I have like a list of what the exhibits will be, but without the exhibits. So let's see, Ms. Smith, you're the petitioner. So where are your physical exhibits?
I think that our exhibits are with the court reporter, or the coordinator. She emailed, my paralegal emailed them over there yesterday. The actual exhibits themselves, not just the list. It's in a Dropbox.
So who all got that Dropbox?
I think you got it, and Mr. Anderson got a copy, got the Dropbox.
I said right now, so if you were using an exhibit, how is everybody going to see it?
I'm going to share it, Your Honor.
The screen share?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then Mr. Anderson, you have the respondent. So I do see in the file the inventory of what your exhibits are. Where are your physical exhibits?
Judge, we had gotten an email a while back stating that our exhibits and witness list needed to be turned in no later than Monday before trial. And it needed to be sent to Ms. Karina Lozano, I believe is who we normally Dropbox it to where she has a copy of the exhibits for the record, and then normally just share screen throughout the Zoom process, Judge.
Your Honor, I'm not aware of an email that was sent, but we did send them yesterday with our witness list. And we had been contacting Mr. Anderson's office on several occasions, trying to see what we could exchange. But we had our exhibits ready on Friday.
Well, and Justin, they should have turned them in on Friday. I don't know why they waited till yesterday at 3-something in the afternoon to turn in exhibits. I mean, that didn't even give us a chance to print them out. As well as
the reason why, Mr. Anderson.
If I finish, Ms. Smith, please. There is an email that we received from the court reporter saying that they had to be turned in the Monday prior to suit.
You're on the screen too.
Okay.
So, and Ms. Lozano's here too. So she has the exhibit or the email and who it was sent to, and so we can try to clarify things. But okay, go ahead, Mr. Anderson.
I have the email right here. It's from Monday, March 1st, 2021. And says, please forward to anyone who needs to appear for the trial. It has the Zoom information. It says if there are any exhibits, witness lists, etc., those need to be e-filed with the district clerk's office no later than Monday prior to the start of trial. So we went ahead and did what we were told to do. And so we would ask that any other exhibits or witness lists not be allowed into trial, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. Anderson, all your exhibits have been e-filed, then, right?
We have to, you can't e-file the actual exhibits, so we Dropboxed it to Ms. Lozano on Monday, and we went ahead and e-filed the exhibit list itself, along with the witness list, Judge.
I have.
May I, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I have an 8-page respondents exhibit information where it has.
Yes, Judge. We had to e-file that with the district clerk because you can't e-file the actual exhibit. They won't let you e-file an exhibit, sir.
Yes, that has, exhibits 1 through 94. So I see the list. And then, was that Dropbox also sent to Ms. Smith?
Yes, Judge. The Dropbox was sent to Ms. Smith and Ms. Lozano on Monday.
So now, Ms. Smith, did you get the Dropbox with Mr. Anderson's exhibits?
Yes, Your Honor, we got them. We got it at 4:20 on Monday. We didn't realize that we even had them until Tuesday morning. But yes, we did. And may I respond, Your Honor, to the exhibits? Your Honor, we have been trying, and I can show you the emails, but we've contacted Mr. Anderson's office several times and said, when do you want to exchange exhibits? I've talked to his paralegal. We sent emails, and the paralegal told me that she thought maybe on Friday, because I wanted to exchange the exhibits. That's generally the way it's done. So we didn't hear anything. My paralegal even emailed them again on Monday to say, where are the exhibits? We didn't have them. So finally, my paralegal, he sent them to me. He did not send them to my paralegal. He sent them to me, and so I opened up my email on Tuesday and said, look, I have the exhibit list and I have his Dropbox. And when I found out that he had them, because they didn't call me or anything, we filed them with the court. We asked the court who to send them to. And so yesterday we filed them in a Dropbox with the court. Your Honor, I had no idea that he had filed his because I was trying to exchange them. I don't know what letter he's talking about that said that the exhibits needed to be done Friday before. We have checked the court's directory to see what kinds of things you needed to do and when you needed to do it, Your Honor, so that we could be on point. I don't practice generally in this county. And I was trying to work with Mr. Anderson. It wasn't like I was trying to hide the football, but we didn't see this letter. Our stuff was ready on Friday. So I would ask that you allow our exhibits. All the exhibits that we have, Mr. Anderson's already had, most of them. I would say that maybe there are maybe 1 or 2 that are demonstrative, like financial information statement or summary. But other than that, Mr. Anderson has all of these exhibits, and he had them because they were produced in discovery. There wasn't a surprise. And so is the witness list. They were produced in discovery also.
And Judge, if I may answer, if she had this ready on Friday, why didn't she just go ahead and send it Friday? Why even wait? I mean, it's ridiculous that now because she missed the deadline, she wants to use this. Hey, we were ready to go on Friday. Well, you should have sent it on Friday. Then it isn't my job to do her job for her. It's not my job to sit in here and tell her when it has to come in or when it doesn't have to come in. She got the same email I got in March. She was the attorney in this case in March, and she got it in March. So to now use that as an excuse is beyond me right now. And to wait till 3, if you got my email Tuesday morning, why did it take till Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to send us the exhibit. I mean, we didn't even have time to print them out yesterday and for me to go over them. And now she wants to sit here and say, can we use them? She is the Jackie Smith that's in this email, and Melinda Gonzalez. So she was aware of the same email I was.
And if I may respond, Your Honor.
Okay, and wait a second. And so Ms. Lozano sent out the emails, so she's there, so, and Ms. Lozano, so in the email, when were, two things, I guess, when were the exhibits to be exchanged or filed? That's question number one.
On Monday, March 1st at 4:52 p.m., I emailed Mr. Anderson, Ms. Smith, and their paralegals. And I said that the exhibits, witness list, et cetera, those need to be e-filed with the district clerk no later than the Monday prior to the start of trial. That was to the email addresses that had been going back and forth, setting up to set this for this today and for Friday.
So then Monday, the 17th?
March 1st on Monday.
No.
Oh, Monday, the 17th, correct. Monday, the 17th, this past Monday.
And again, I'm since I'm still not that literate with all this stuff, I know we've had other trials and sort of bringing Ms. Lozano into the loop, where there've been lots of exhibits and they've all been filed with the clerk. Again, I'm thinking of that civil trial that we had. So how was that done, Ms. Lozano?
They e-filed the exhibits with the county clerk's office, so I would assume it'd be the same for the district clerk. And I was able to access the exhibits through the county clerk's file because they hadn't printed for the court at the time of trial.
Because I was.
Can I ask Mrs. Lozano a question, Your Honor?
Sure.
Mrs. Lozano, did you get emails from my paralegal Melinda asking you how you wanted the exhibits done? Did you ever receive the email from her?
I'm between the courtroom and my desk, and I have not been able to catch up on my emails because we've been in court. But I also, at the same time, I do not reply to emails that don't have both sides copied. And if I'm not mistaken, Miss Gonzalez, I think it is,
Yes.
emailed. I saw it. I was in the middle of going downstairs to get something off my desk and run back up, and it was right out of my mind because it did not have opposing side copied on the email.
I thoroughly understand. I just wanted to know if you got one.
I didn't
Your
even get
Honor,
to read the
okay,
email.
that's okay. That's fine. Your Honor, it's been my practice, and maybe I'm wrong, but lawyers try to work with each other on cases, especially like cases like this. If I had known that the exhibits should have been done by Monday, I would not have spent the time doing what our lawyers creed asks that we do, that we try to work together. I wanted us to exchange the exhibits at the same time. I think that his paralegal will tell you we called, I talked to her about it. I even joked with her about it. And she said maybe by Friday, but she wasn't sure. So it wasn't like I was holding on to the exhibits to the last minute to give it to him. I wanted us to exchange them at the same time. And it wasn't, and I even called Mr. Anderson's office, left messages for him. When I found out that he had filed his exhibits, and I don't think it was yesterday, I think it was, okay, today is Thursday, no, Wednesday. It was yesterday that I sent my exhibits to him. You're right, I did. That's when I found out they were there, I told my paralegal to send them. I did. No one's trying to hide the football here, Judge.
Well, and Ms. Lozano's sent me the email that she sent out. So she said she wanted, of course, she wanted them filed by the court, filed with the clerk, and I don't know how that works. Where does it say?
I was just noting their email address.
Yeah, but where does it say? Okay. So Ms. Lozano's email wanted the exhibits to be e-filed, the clerk's office on no later than Monday the 17th. And so if I'm understanding, it doesn't look like either person had it done by the 17th. And then I think I guess Mr. Anderson, you did it Monday the 17th at 4:20, is that right?
Yes, Judge, we filed our exhibit list with the district clerk as requested because that's all we can file. I don't know that they accept videos or, you know, anything else. Normally it's too large when you have a ton of exhibits like this. So that's why we filed the exhibit list and Dropboxed the exhibits, the actual exhibits to Ms. Lozano.
And we got the exhibits on Tuesday, or was it on Monday, Mr. Anderson?
You got everything Monday.
And then, and so then Ms. Smith, you did yours in the Dropbox
On Tuesday, when I noticed that Mr. Anderson had filed his, I immediately told my paralegal to send it on to Mr. Anderson.
But Judge, that doesn't sound, I mean, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so.
Mr. Anderson, I looked at my email. When I looked at my email is when I sent the exhibits to you. Why would I be calling your office, emailing you on several occasions?
Know why, what time?
Mr. Anderson, and I'll allow you to talk. Why would I email you, talk to your paralegal, call your office, wanting to know when we were going to exchange if I was trying to hide the exhibits? I basically, Judge, did not know. Now, that's my fault, for sure. But the bottom line is my client shouldn't be penalized because I didn't know they needed to be done on Monday. And I'm trying to work with a lawyer, trying to do it the way generally it's done, where you exchange the exhibits in advance.
Judge, I mean, I wasn't gonna get into I'm gonna push the button now type scenario. So you go ahead and push the send button. I mean, my God, just send the exhibits. If you had them ready Friday, you should have sent them on Friday. That's why we have these deadlines. I mean, Judge, by the time she sent them, we didn't even have time to print them out and review them. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Mr. Anderson, we got yours on Tuesday too. We got yours the same time, and you have 95 exhibits when I had been trying for the week before to try to get them in advance. So to say, Mr. Anderson, that I just dumped them on you and I just dumped them on you to make things worse is not true. And you know it too. I have tried to work with you on this case to give you as lawyers, we need to work together to do the things that generally lawyers do. They transfer exhibits, they talk about what's admitted and what's not. I wanted to talk to you about that. I left a message with your office. Yesterday, they told me you were in trial. I said, please have him call me so we can talk about these exhibits. And I never got a call back from you. Mr. Anderson, I don't believe in hiding the football. Not at all. That's not the way I play. I've been trying to get these exhibits to you since last week.
Okay, looking at this list a minute, Ms. Smith, I see a petitioner's exhibit list. It looks like it has 1 through
I think it's 17.
17.
Yeah,
And you said that a lot of these were produced in discovery.
I think almost all of them were, Your Honor, except for maybe a summary of one thing, but everything else was produced in discovery. My bills were produced in discovery. The inventory was produced. Everything was produced in discovery. It's not like these are new things to Mr. Anderson.
And do any of these exhibits, are people using the same thing? Like, for example, I'm just looking at Ms. Smith right now. Petitioner's Exhibit 3 is Wood Forest National Bank account number that ends in 1507. Is that also on Mr. Anderson's list somewhere?
I am sure it is, Your Honor. He's got 95 exhibits, which are a lot of them are bank account statements, but I'm not sure To be honest with you, Judge, I didn't have the time to go through all of Mr. Anderson's exhibits. I did not.
Mr. Anderson, with that, I'm kind of looking at the list now. Do you know whether or not, and I'm just using that one as an example, if that bank account is also one of your exhibits?
Yes, Judge, I'm sure it is. I mean, I haven't had a chance to look at hers because I didn't get them till 3 something yesterday. So it would have taken my staff all night to print it out and get it all together. I mean, we finally got it together right before this hearing, at least in a binder, but I haven't had a chance to look at any of it, Judge. So, I mean, if the court's willing to let her exhibits in, we'd ask for a continuance in this matter so that I can look over the exhibits and prepare properly for her exhibits, and we come back at a different time.
Mr. Anderson, we got your exhibits like a couple hours before. And I think that you probably even have more than we do.
No, sir.
And Judge, I'm willing to do whatever you want to do. I mean, I just think that we as lawyers should try to work together. I missed the deadline, that's on me. But I did try. It wasn't, my intent was not to hide the football. If Mr. Anderson feels that he needs a continuance to go over this stuff, I'm not going to yell and jump up and down. I want my client to have an honest trial, Judge. I want her to have a fair trial, and I don't want the fact that I missed a deadline to change the outcome of this trial. So I'm willing, if he wants a continuance, so be it, Judge. I have no problems with that. I just know now not to try to wait till a lawyer does something and just go ahead and do it. Yes, I missed the deadline, and I'll hold myself responsible for that, Your Honor.
Both sides, just while we're talking about this, because, for a case like this, I want everybody to have seen the exhibits so that each side gets to put on the evidence they want and they get to examine the other person's exhibits. So just for an example, if Mr. Anderson, do you look at your list for a minute?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Smith, do you have his list handy?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. So if we look at Mr. Anderson, Respondents Exhibit 22.
Yes, sir.
And Petitioner's Exhibit 3.
Yes, sir.
I just want to figure out, is that the same thing?
We have more. My 22 is different than their 3, Judge. They're not the same, Judge.
Yeah, I'm just looking at them quick, and I both see their Woodforest National Bank account number ends in 1507. So
They are the same account. They're different types of statements, Judge. So they're not identical.
if it was easy to tell that everybody has all the exhibits, then I'd say let's just go forward. If there's a question that somebody hasn't had a chance to review exhibits, then I want to give each side a chance to do that, and then we may look at another date to try this thing. Are we still, I know earlier we were looking at 2 days, Wednesday and Friday. Is that, Ms. Smith, is that still a reasonable time period? You think 2 days?
Yes, Your Honor, I think so. I don't know about Mr. Anderson, but for me to put on my case in chief and to to my cross. I think 2 days is, Mr. Anderson can respond.
Well, but I mean, you think just your case would take 2 days?
No, I think that that will give him a chance to cross-examine my client too. I still think it's 2 days. I think it would take about 2 days. I have, besides my client and myself, I have 2 other witnesses that are short back witnesses, and that's.
And Mr. Anderson, you still think 2
I
days?
think it's gonna be 3 to 4 days, Judge. Given the age of my client and Miss Smith's client and my client's ability to hear, I think it's gonna slow down the process along with, I mean, we got over 100 and something exhibits here. So I just think that it's gonna take more of a 3 to 4 day time limit. And Judge, I've had quite a few trials where we think it only takes a day or two and then it ends up taking a week. So I would hate to get this thing started and have to take another 2-month break to finish it up. So my guess, Judge, is at least 3.5 days.
And going back, I'll just start with Ms. Smith first, and she's representing the petitioner. And I realize with any divorce, people want to get it done and get it over with. But is there any, other than that, is there a pressing time limit to?
I just want it to be fair, Your Honor. That's all I care about. So I'm willing to move it back. If he says it's going to take him 4 days, I'm okay with it. I will do whatever this court thinks is appropriate.
And Mr. Anderson, the same thing is, other than just getting the case done, is there any, something that's time sensitive that this needs to get done sooner rather than later?
No, Judge, the only thing that I would request, Judge, because of the time restraints and the age of my client and his abilities, that we do it in person and not Zoom, Judge. This Zoom would make it drastically harder, I think, especially for that long. And so I think we're going to reset it to another day, that we need to do it in person in the courthouse where it's all right there, Judge.
Again, my response to that, Your Honor, is that my client is in California. She gets $480 a month. That's all she gets. Her Social Security, her husband gives her no money and has not for 1.5 years. If he wants to have it in person, and I'm not opposed to it being in person, I would ask that she would have some community funds to be able to travel from California back and to stay in a hotel. 4 days for her on $480 a month is not enough money to live on. Judge, I don't know if you remember, one of the reasons why you gave us a quick trial date is because my client asked for some temporary orders and asked for some temporary spouse's maintenance. And you said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll give you a quick trial. So that's how we got in quicker to begin with, which is fine. For her to travel from California here and to stay in a hotel for 4 days, it's going to cost some money. So can she take some money out of an account to be able to pay for that? I have no problems with that. It'll be easier in person. Of course it would be. And that would be fine with me.
Judge, may I respond to that? Miss Sims just came back from a trip to Georgia, where she flew from California to Georgia, and instead of flying to Texas for anything like this, she ended up flying back to California. So to sit here and say she doesn't have money to fly, yet she can get on an airplane and fly to Georgia to stay with her family, she's getting money somehow.
You can't assume that she's paying for it at all. You can't assume that because she's flying from visiting her grandkids back to California that she's paying for it. Not at all. You can't assume that. She gets $480 a month. Ask your client. She gets Social Security. That's all she gets. She gets nothing else.
Like I said, Judge, she can somehow get back and forth to Georgia, but she can't get here for her divorce.
For a funeral.
One of the, again, Miss Smith, one of the things that got filed was proposed inventory. And I'm just looking at Miss Smith's exhibit, so I don't know. I'm not making any comment on the validity or not, but she's estimating that it's almost $600,000 in assets I realize it's not all cash. But are these some of this money that's in bank accounts? Is it just sitting there? I mean, we know that Sims is going to get some amount of money out of this.
We hope anyway. We hope it does.
Yeah. So, I mean, what would be the objective? If there's cash in some of these accounts, we could disperse an equal amount to both sides, and then they can use it as they want. And if it's community money.
All right, Your Honors, I'm going to pull the inventory. I have it. Let me just pull it up here so we can see it. We can share it. Would you like us to share it with you, Mr. Anderson? Okay, if you look at the inventory now, Your Honor, we can only testify to what my client has control over, because Mr. Sims has not supplemented his discovery since November. So what we have, looking into these accounts, there's a 2.3, which is the Bank of America account as of 12/8, 2020. It looks like there's $6,794 in there. Our proposal was to split it. So if they're agreeable, we can split the money that's in that account, and that would be enough for her to fly back from California and stay in a hotel.
And Judge, if I may, I called, I had my client call this morning to get the account balance for the Bank of America 8483 checking, and there's $4,345.80 in there currently as of today. Now bills do get paid out of there for their home, but that's the amount that's in there today. Now we will let the court know that Ms. Sims has 3 different Redwood accounts in California, and we have not gotten anything of an updated statement on any of those accounts. So I couldn't tell you how much she has in all her accounts there.
Mr. Anderson, you need to check your supplemental. We supplemented all bank statements in April 16th, including any bank statements that all of her bank statements, they're all supplemented, every last one of them. Please check your discovery to see. So going back to what you said, Your Honor, he says there's $4,000 in there, about $4,000. My proposal is, because he did not supplement, that we're willing to take half. We're willing to take 2, because there's 6,000. There was 6,000. We're willing to take 3,000 of that money and use that to come from California back here, and he can have the rest. These people don't have a mortgage, Your Honor. They have a reverse mortgage, so there's no money for a mortgage that needs to go out of the community funds. In addition, Mr. Let me just finish, please, Mr. Anderson, and I'll allow you to continue. Mr. Sims grosses about $6,000 a month with his 2 retirement accounts and his Social Security.
And Judge, I didn't say a mortgage. I said they have a place out here that he has to take care of, and there's things that go with it. He's got to pay the car note. They have an SBA loan that he has to take care of every month out of that account. There's taxes. I mean, if the court wants us to give her $2,000 for right now, that's half to, or $2,100 to get her some funds to get here. I mean, then that's what we'll have to do, Judge. There's not 6,000 in there. I called the bank 30 minutes before we got on there, and it's 43.45.80 is in the account. So if the court wants us to give her $2,000 for right now, that can be looked at as part of her half of the marital estate later, then that's what we have to do, Judge. Just so long that we can get her here to have a in-person trial.
And again, I can't go through each one of these, but when I look on the inventory under the category of cash and accounts and financial institutions, there's an estimate that there's over $150,000 in cash out there. So I think we could sure take a couple thousand and, and take 2,000, give it to each side, let each side withdraw $2,000. And it's an equal award, and it'll just reduce the community some.
That's fine, Your Honor. We have no problems with that. It would be easier. We know it's going to be easier for everybody to be here. She just needed some money to be able to do it. I think $2,000 would be enough for her to fly here and to stay in a hotel while she's here. We just need a date now. Fine. And I would ask that Mr. Anderson, so that we can have an accurate inventory, that you can kind of update the statements to help us.
So if we're looking at that one account, the Bank of America account that ends in 3198.
No, it's 8483, Judge, that has the 4,000.
Wait a second, maybe I'm looking at the wrong one.
Are you talking about on the inventory, Mr. Anderson? Are you talking about 2.3?
I'm talking about my inventory that
You don't have an inventory, Mr. Anderson. You never filed one.
I e-filed.
Not an inventory, you didn't, Mr. Anderson.
Okay.
Judge. Let me just right now, I'm looking at the inventory that Ms. Smith filed, and she has a Bank of America account that ends in 3198.
That's 2.3 on the inventory, Your Honor.
Right, exactly. And so, I mean, that's the one she's estimating is about 6,700. So can you tell the account? Okay, Mr. Anderson, did you say Bank of America that ends in 8158?
8483, Judge. I called, we called Bank of America and asked for every account that Mr. Sims has this morning, and there was no 3198. So I don't know anything about that. The only one and that's what I'm telling the court right now that I know of that has any kind of money is the Bank of America ending in 8483.
We don't have that account listed anywhere.
Can either Ms. Smith, I'm sorry, Ms. Sims, does she have, I mean, the ability just to find out, is that a Bank
It's
of
not
America?
a joint, sure, it's Mr. Sims' account. It's not a joint account. It wouldn't be.
It's listed under community, isn't it?
Mr. Anderson never filed an inventory, Your Honor. So we based it on the documents that we had and what they provided to us in discovery. So if Mr. Sims has another account, we don't know about it. We've listed all the ones that we had and the ones that he provided us information on. So this must be another account. And again, we're okay with that. I mean, it would be his separate account. We're okay with that. We just, $2,000 would be more than enough to cover it.
If the court wants to, we can withdraw, 2,000 out and transfer it to her, however the court wants us to do it.
So Mr. Anderson, again, tell me again, Bank of America that ends in what numbers?
8483.
483.
Yes, 8483 is the last four of the account.
Okay, so we'll have, and Mr. Sims will withdraw $2,000 out of that Bank of America account and ends in 8483 and transfer that. Ms. Smith, what's going to be the best way to transfer that money to Ms.
He can transfer it to, would you like to have it transferred to you, Ms. Sims? He can send it to me and I'll make sure she gets it. And that way there's a trail. I'll make sure she gets the money, Your Honor. His lawyer can send it to me and I'll make sure that she gets the money.
Okay. All right. And so if $2,000 gets sent to Ms. Sims, then we'd be able to look for a day where we could have this live. Okay.
Yes.
We're going to, Ms. Lozano, start looking. I can tell you 3 consecutive days, we're going to be several months out.
Your Honor, Roy Brantley here. I don't want to be impertinent, but I need to be. I have 2 witnesses that were subpoenaed and they've been here. Since this is going to be continued, I would ask that they would be relieved and could leave. They have a function that they need to attend. That's issue number one. It's Dr. Roche, A-R-O-S-H. They were subpoenaed. It did not have the Zoom information on the email, so technically the subpoena was deficient. But we called Karina Lozano and got the Zoom. We're here, and just to show we want to do what we need to do. But the third point is, if it's going to be continued for a live trial, I would request that the parties would allow, or the attorneys would allow them to appear by Zoom. They live in College Station. We're here in my office in College Station. They're both professors at A&M Veterinary School, and they're quite busy with research and programs. So that's really what I'm requesting is, and also if they get subpoenaed for the next trial, we be told when we didn't know if it's going to be now or 2 days from now, and we would ask that we would know when we would be reached so that they can schedule around whatever's necessary.
And
Jeff, we attached.
wait a second. So who subpoenaed the two professors?
Mr. Anderson?
And Judge, we attached the Zoom link to the subpoena, which I notified Mr. Brantley. We were gonna let them know that they could come on Friday if we would have carried on. However, we would ask that the subpoena, whatever date we get, that just transfer the subpoena power to that new date, and then we can let Mr. Brantley know. They wouldn't have to show up the first day for sure, but we can let Mr. Brantley know after the first day when their testimony would be needed, if at all, if it's needed. I won't know to release them from the subpoena until after there's some testimony by Ms. Sims. So if we don't need them, I'll be happy to let Mr. Brantley know after the first day of trial, and they can be released and they don't have to come at all. However, if we do need them, we would ask that they come on the last day. Toward the end of the day, we can make arrangements with Mr. Brantley, and I have every intention of doing so. I just didn't know a time frame yet because we hadn't had any testimony.
And what's going to be the essence of their testimony? What issue will that go to?
Most likely it'll be some rebuttal testimony as to some things that Ms. Sims has alleged. But once again, Judge, I won't know that until there's some cross-examination of Ms. Sims. So if there's no testimony about it, then I can release the Aroshas and we don't have to worry about them coming at all. I just won't know that until there's some testimony given, Judge.
So just to be clear, Your Honor, my clients did get the subpoena. For whatever reason, the email that had the Zoom information was not attached. That's fine. That's why I called Ms. Lozano, but it was not attached. Now, I'm asking for us to come again. Is it possible that the parties of Mr. Anderson and Ms. Smith would agree that they could appear by Zoom so they don't have to spend that time going to the courthouse and coming back?
I have no objections to them appearing by Zoom, none whatsoever.
Yeah, the only thing that we probably have to work with a little bit, Mr. Brantley, is just the logistics of, a live trial and then a Zoom witnesses, so that, Ms. Smith and Mr. Anderson, can see them and ask them questions, and we can hear their responses. Just the logistics is the hard part. It sounds like if there are going to be rebuttals and we don't know if they even be called, it's probably something we can work out. Just getting the problem is, that if we're in live court and Mr. Anderson's there live and Ms. Smith is there live, what computer are they going to be in front of to question the witness and then hear their response? That's the hard thing, because we can't can't have Mr. Anderson on a laptop and Ms. Smith on a laptop, all in the courthouse. We found out there's feedback and that doesn't work. We might have to see if we can set up something in different rooms in the courthouse just for the limited purpose of them testifying. So Mr. Brantley, if you can hold on a minute, and we're going to start looking at some dates and see what's even available.
Your Honor, is it okay if my clients leave since and I can just communicate to them the date?
The only thing is, if we want to look at a date, and we might as well make sure that they're even available. You know, if they're going off on a lecture in England or something, then they're not available. It may not work. So just hold on just a couple minutes here.
Okay, so this is when we have a possible trial. That week of the 24th.
For a jury?
Yes.
Let me get my book here.
Oh, sorry.
Is that the first jury? Okay.
I don't remember.
That's the one that we set aside. Well, here's a point there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So what about the
It's not.
that's one that was set aside kind of for
That would be 1. Two and a half days.
what about the afternoon at 11?
Afternoon.
That's 2.5.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got a full afternoon. Then I don't know if the AG's court's going to be here. So that would be 3. 2 full days and 2
I mean,
half
the AG could come
up here. Yeah. So it's
people want to check, I guess Mr. Anderson and Ms. Smith want to check calendar. Looks like the day that we'd have, consecutive days would be the week of August 9th. We could potentially go all day Monday the 9th, all day Tuesday the 10th, half a day on Wednesday the 11th, and probably a half a day on Thursday the 12th.
That's the week after advance. Is that the week after advance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah, I was gonna have a vacation the week after advance, but that's okay. That's a good week for me, Judge.
The only day, Judge, the only day I have a problem, I have Thursday and Friday available and Monday and Tuesday. The only day I don't have available is Wednesday, Judge, so.
Wednesday morning is when we have a criminal docket.
Yes, sir. In the afternoon, I have to be in Montgomery County, so that's the only day. Other than that, I'm open the whole week.
Do you know what you have that Wednesday afternoon in Montgomery County?
It is a docket call. Now, if I get a trial protective order, Judge, from you, I can send to them saying, hey, I'm in family trial, and they'll have to just move it. So
it's just, but is it a general, docket call for a criminal case?
Yes, Judge.
But I would hope between, what are we, June, July, in almost 3 months that they could move that, 1 week up or down or something.
Yes, Judge. I will do like I said, I'll work with them to try and get it moved for that afternoon. And then if nothing else, Judge, I'll just ask the court to sign a trial protective order to where I can file that with my continuance, Judge.
Okay, so we're just talking right now. I'm not gonna order it yet, but if we look at coming back, starting trial Monday, August 9th, Tuesday the 10th, the afternoon of the 11th. And then potentially, is it the afternoon or the morning?
On the 12th, it's available for the morning.
Okay. So the Thursday the 12th would be in the morning. So does that work with people's schedules? Monday the 9th all day, Tuesday the 10th all day, Wednesday, the 11th in the PM, Thursday, the 12th in the AM.
That works for me, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And so now we'll talk about the witnesses for a second, Mr. Brantley's clients. I realize there were rebuttals. So with Mr. Anderson, do you think the earliest that you might get to them would be what, the 11th or 12th?
Judge, so depending on how long Ms. Sims takes with her testimony, I should know a definite answer by the 9th as to even if they need to be there. Now, if the 10th later in the afternoon or the 11th probably would be pretty close to when they would need to come, if at all. And what we would want to do is, I don't know what their schedule is, but if they have morning classes or whatever, afternoon classes, we would try to work around their schedule to make it happen. But I would be able to notify Mr. Brantley for sure on the 9th, most likely, because I anticipate Ms. Smith will take Ms. Sims as the first witness.
What day?
Your Honor, I don't have any problems with Mr. Anderson taking these witnesses out of order once he starts his case in chief. I'm fine with that. I'm flexible.
I'm not taking anybody out of order. I'm guessing that Ms. Sims will go first because
She and I will work that out, but.
if that's the case, then I should know something by the end of the day, whether or not they'll even be needed.
So to Mr. Brantley, do you know, just looking at the calendar, if your clients, I mean, they're going to be around
Yes, Your Honor, to answer your question.
that week?
They will be around that week. He has classes on Tuesday and Friday. Thursday, Tuesday and Thursday. So that would be the only hitch we'd have to work around, but I could work that out with Mr. Anderson. They will be in College Station that time. So we'll work with that. And Mr. Anderson can let me know. I'll be in trial in Beaumont, but we'll have somebody cover it.
And we can notify Mr. Brantley's office on the 9th, whether or not they'll even be needed. So that way they can plan accordingly. And if they are needed, then we can try to do them on Wednesday morning if need be, to where it gets done.
And keep in mind, Wednesday would be in the afternoon.
Oh, I'm sorry, afternoon. I apologize. I had it written down. Afternoon.
Wednesday afternoon looks fine.
So, all right. So what, for now, what I want to do then is let me swear them both in, tell them that, the earliest that they would return would be Wednesday, August 11th in the afternoon. And then Mr. Anderson would, hopefully notify your office, Mr. Brantley, on Monday, the 9th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may, could you swear all the witnesses that are available in so that we can at least have the trial starting in that sense? That way we won't be barraged with other information, other kinds of things. I would like everybody sworn in. We're here today. And then you can give them their instructions.
So who else is here today?
My client and Mr. Anderson's client.
I'm sorry, you're asking them to be sworn for what reason?
I'm asking them to be sworn in so he start the trial and we can continue it on the 9th.
Okay. I don't understand the purpose for swearing our people in if he's just swearing, if the court's just swearing them to return on a subpoena.
The purpose of swearing everyone in, Mr. Anderson, is so the court can call the trial to order and everybody will be sworn in so that I won't, between August the 9th and now in August the 9th, I get a barrage of other kinds of documents and stuff. We have what we have. I want us to deal with what we have. So if he swears everybody in and says this trial is starting, but it's continued to the 9th, there's no other documents in terms of exhibits that are going to be exchanged. I don't want to deal with this again.
Well, and I mean, I'm going to talk about the discovery and that a little bit later. But and as far as the parties, I can swear the parties in today and you order them to return on August 9th if you want to have that done, I would think the parties are going to need to be here. Miss Smith, do you have other witnesses who are here today that I can swim?
Not today. They're not here online, Your Honor. I will have to have them here for the trial. So they're going to have to come in for the trial.
Okay, so, and let me get Mr. Brantley's, if you could repeat the spelling of the names of your clients.
Hey. You muted.
Yes, Your Honor. Sakhila.
Okay.
And spell the last name.
Arosh, Arosh.
Arosh. Okay.
That's her. And Mr. Joe Arosh. They're married.
All right. So first, if I can get then two professors Arosh to raise your right hands.
Your Honor, before you do that, I'm wondering, why are they being sworn in when the other witnesses are not?
Just because they're not here. It's this way we can swear them in and they'll be ordered to return on Wednesday, August 11th.
Are they going to invoke the rule where they can't talk to anybody? Is that the purpose of this?
I thought the main purpose is so they wouldn't have to be served with another subpoena.
Yeah, Judge, that's what we're asking. Just swear them to return for the subpoena issue.
Okay. That's fair.
All right, so then get both professors to raise your right hands.
That's right.
You and each of you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I agree. Yes, sir.
Okay, so both for Professor Miss Arosh and Professor Mr. Arosh, you are ordered to return on Wednesday, August 11th in the afternoon, unless Mr. Anderson tells you that your testimony is not needed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so then Mr. Brantley and both professors, you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May we leave?
You may. Okay, so got a trial date. We're going to have Mr. Sims transfer $2,000, Miss Sims, and now as far as the discovering exhibits, I mean, I want to limit things to what has now been in the Dropbox each side. So that should be the exhibits that we'll deal with when we come to trial on August 9th. Now, is there any updates that needs to be done?
We just need a date to know when he's supposed to send the money to us, a date certain for his wife. We need a date.
Anderson, when can that be done?
How long do you need to get the money out of the account?
What I gotta do is write a check or something?
I mean, if you want, yeah, you can. That account, you have a check for that account?
I gotta go check.
My client will bring a check to my office by Friday for $2,000 from that account, and he will, we will mail it to Miss Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll just, how about we just say by May 25th, that'll be mailed to Miss Smith. All right, and okay, so now the discovery period is going to be closed, so no more discovery, no more new exhibits. But is there supplements that need to be made as far as accounts?
No, Your Honor, ours, it closes at April. That's the last time we supplemented everything through April. His was way back in November, so we'll just leave them. I mean, this is what we have, and so this is what we'll deal with.
Well, I mean, Judge, it appears some of these accounts were closed because of frauds. I mean, if she doesn't want, I mean, I can get an accounting for the bank account from Bank of America that we're talking about, because she's saying she doesn't know about it. But if she doesn't want it, then, I mean, it's fine. It's in our inventory, so.
Mr. Anderson, I keep saying to you, we don't have a copy of your inventory. We have no copy of it. So I am saying, Judge, I think we should leave the exhibits the way they are. We shouldn't supplement. We just should deal with what we have now, because like we had anticipated going to trial today anyway. So I'm fine with what we have.
So now, and just to clarify the inventory, Mr. Anderson, do you think in the Dropbox that was sent to Ms. Smith, somewhere in there is an inventory?
Yes, Judge. May I step away for just 1 second? Because I have the inventory here that we've done.
There is an inventory in that box that Mr. Anderson labeled as my inventory in the box, and what he labeled as my inventory was a document, Your Honor, that we used in mediation, which was not our inventory. So of course I would object to that being used. And then at least in my Dropbox, what he labeled as Mr. Sims' inventory, there was nothing there. There's not any kind of document, and there's not any kind of exhibit that goes along with it.
And Judge, we made it an exhibit, so that's what I'm gonna clarify real quick.
Mr. Anderson, see if you can find that so we can at least just clarify.
I know we have it right here, so.
It's like documents produced by, it's under documents produced by. I mean, it's in this exhibit list, but it's in documents produced by opposing counsel, by petitioner. That's where it will be listed. Okay. You have this exhibit? Yeah. I think it's go to the back, very end. Go to the very end. Now the one says. Okay. It's number 888. Open it up. There is no, there's no 88. I was trying to tell you. There is no 88. See how it goes from 87, it goes from 87 to 89. Mr. Anderson, on your exhibit list, you have it listed as 88. But
Yes.
the exhibit that you produced, there is no 88. It goes from 87 to 89.
I mean, we have 80, it's number 88, Judge. So, Ms. Smith, you're saying you did not get it?
I'm saying if you open up the exhibit list that we had, it goes from 87 to 89. There is no 88. That's what I'm saying.
Judge, I don't know, it's our 88, I can resend her exhibit 88. I don't know
There's
why.
no document produced for 88. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, I mean, Ms. Smith, were you able to see, are there any other numbered exhibits that you don't have anything attached to?
That's the only one that I saw. And in the list itself, it's skipped. It's not even, there's not even a number, even though it's on his list, his exhibit list, in the actual documents itself, there was no 88 document.
Judge, I don't know.
Share my screen with the judge to see, so he can see what I'm saying. Go ahead and share.
Like I said, we can resend the exhibit to her if she'd like that. I mean.
So let me just show you. This is under 88.
I don't know. I mean, we can resend
Can you
it.
see that? Can you see that? There's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there.
I don't know why it wouldn't have gone through Dropbox. I mean, I can resend it, Judge.
You'll resend that exhibit 88.
Okay.
Okay, so what else do we need to talk about today? Anything? I'll send out another docket control order that'll essentially say, when the check will be sent, trial date August 9th, that discovery is completed, no new discovery. Anything else, Ms. Smith, that I need to address in that?
That's it, Your Honor. I appreciate you hearing both sides of this.
And Mr. Anderson, anything else?
Judge, I think that does it.
Okay, and then again, then Mr. Anderson, resend that the substance of that exhibit 88.
Yes, Judge. Now, Judge, I mean, I guess the court will just hear testimony because these accounts are changing because of the amount that he's withdrawing. I mean, so he'll just have to testify to that. But I mean,
right, the amounts in each account, is fixed on a particular day, and then they can certainly be, cross-examined or explain why an amount either went up a little bit or down a little bit. And
yeah, no, I wanted that to be clear since we're not gonna amend it right before trial. So,
Well, the truth is that Mr. Anderson hasn't supplemented since December, really November of last year. So the statements that are on my inventory are basically on what he's given us up until that point in terms of his clients' accounts. And we supplemented through April. So ours, and you'll see the dates on the inventory in terms of what the balances are. And then, Judge, you can do whatever you want to do with after that.
right, I mean, there'll just have to be an explanation on how, and it's common that amounts vary, from month to month. They shouldn't vary. It shouldn't be $10,000 one month and then zero the next. But fluctuations a little bit are normal.
But it helps if you supplement. So you can. I mean, we're talking about 5 months here. We have nothing from Mr. Sims from November until now. Nothing. Even though I wrote Mr. Anderson and asked him to supplement, and that we did what we are asked to do, which is to supplement. So we did it a month prior to trial. So our stuff is up through April.
Well, and maybe Ms. Smith, after you get that exhibit 88, the two of you can start comparing accounts and finding out if there's accounts that nobody knows about or one side doesn't know about, and we'll see what the amounts are in there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I don't know, Ms. Smith, do you anticipate that you'll be up in Austin County anytime before August?
I don't know, Judge.
No, I was just because I'm thinking about it right now, there is, a fairly good chance that when we come back to try the case in August, we're going to be in a new building. So maybe, and have you heard whether or not the advanced family law is supposed to be live this year? Or?
We are live. We're going to be live, Your Honor. I'm on the Family Law Council. We're going to be live.
Okay.
I'm going to be in the booth. I'm going to be presenting. Everything's live.
Okay. Well, good. Well, I'll probably be going to that, so I can either try to see you there. I'll see you there, and I should be able to tell you that week where we will be on August 9th. If we'll either be in the same courthouse. We're hoping that we'll be in another building. It's in Belleville. It's just going to be new and opened. Who knows? This may be the first trial we have there. So
it's going to be a brand new courthouse, Judge?
It's going to be we're calling it a justice center. It's just the courtrooms and the clerks are there. So the county judge, the auditor, treasurer, they're going to stay here in the courthouse. But yeah, for all practical purposes, it's a new courthouse.
Okay, sounds good.
So
right, well, I'll see you at Advance, and if nothing else, I'll see you at Advance.
Okay, sounds good. All right, very good. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll call you, Ms. Sims.
All righty. Oh, man. You heard? That is crazy.
Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, I said, it's fine, you know, he's gonna send me the money to get out.
The thing is that I love that Sheila showed up with her attorney.
Yeah. She told me, she said, I have an attorney and I'm gonna call him about this subpoena because I don't know why I'm even being subpoenaed.
Well, he said, so when they said that, what are they gonna subpoena them
For.
for? And they said rebuttals to your testimony. So that means they're trying to find, so whatever you're talking about, they're trying to find a rebuttal to that, meaning they want Sheila to be able to say something you're saying isn't true, and she's not gonna do that.
Oh, no.
There's
Nothing
nothing that she can say that you're saying is not
Not
true.
true, right, yeah.
The judge likes Jackie.
Yes, yeah, well, they were talking last time we were down, when I was down there.
And I think that his lawyer has to see that, and that's why he's pulling all this little bullshit, because he knows how fucked they are.
Yeah. I know.
But I wonder if that means, does Joe have to go to Texas then?
I don't know. I hope not. Well, I think she did, well, they would have to be on Zoom.
Well, I
But I
heard her
should
say
do
that
that
Sheila
too.
and them could be on Zoom.
I don't know, we'll have to find, I hope not. Because that's gonna be too much on her.
Is there a hotel closer to the courthouse? So you guys don't have to stay in Houston?
There's no, there's no. It's a Roach Motel in Belleville.
Like the one we stayed in on Zoom?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if you stayed with Sheila?
It would be, but yeah.
We probably could though.
Okay. But that, you know, that's still 45 to 50 minutes away from Belleville. So it's crazy.
And now it's 3 more months away.
Yeah, 3 months.
And really, $2,000 is gonna cost you $600 to get out there and back,
That,
plus a hotel
yeah,
for 4 days.
4 days.
And food and transportation.
Transportation.
$2,000 is barely enough.
I know.
And it's just a waste of more money.
It is. It's just a way. And he's hiding it because I don't know anything about that account. Once he closed those accounts, I have no idea where.
But why is Jackie saying we don't care what's in that account? We're willing to move forward just with what we
Because there's
have?
nothing in those accounts that are on record. He drew all the money out. When I was taking it out, he would.
Yeah,
He had
But why
withdrawn.
wouldn't she want that submitted, that account?
Well, that's what we're haggling over.
Oh,
That's the one she said that I don't know anything about,
yeah.
and I don't.
Look at the doc.
Yeah, it's terrible. He sitting up. It looked like he was trying to do something on the phone, and he was on his phone.
Rudy,
Mhm. I don't know.
were they in the courthouse,
No, they were in his office,
in the lawyer's office?
in the lawyer's office, because I could see the, pictures and all that around there in the office. He's right there in Belleville. So. Terrible. 3 more months.
Should call Joe and tell her that you don't have to talk today.
Yeah. They're on their way back home.
No, Auntie Joe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she's at work. What time is it here?
Where's she working? I thought she was retired.
Yeah, she had a little part-time job. And in the morning, she worked until 12. And then she's off. That is very, yeah. Yeah. So.
I mean, that email, I saw that email. It did say those documents needed to be in by Friday. So that is on Jackie.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what she's saying, and he fails to communicate, and they were trying to do
Yes,
it between the two of them, but it said to have it in by Friday. She should have had it in by Friday.
Yeah. Well, she said, she said, I know it's my fault. That is my fault. That's her only fault.
But I think, to her point,
Yeah.
the right way to do it is the attorneys should be able to work together. And the
Right.
judge has said time and time again, you guys need to work together talking to the attorneys, and he's not.
Yeah. And he's not responding to any of her stuff. So we just have to go. I'm gonna start I'm gonna start pulling out some of that money, maybe in an account, seeing that I'm paying rent. You know, so I can kind of dwindle mine down a little bit.
Mhm.
We could probably do that today.
Well,
or
you
tomorrow.
can just get a cashier's
the
check
check.
in Jerome's name and I'll just deposit it in an account that I have that only has like $6 in it, because it's just an account that we used to use for like house of funds, and then we use something else now, but we never close that account, and it's at Redwood too. And so then we can just, we could probably go set it up at Redwood so that it takes a monthly transfer and
yeah.
just, you don't even have to do it. And it just shows that it's going into Jerome's account, and then when this is all done, we could just give it all back to you.
Yeah, except for what I owe you. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get my phone too. You might call Dad in case Jackie calls on hers.
Yeah, she'll probably will call. I like your little note.
It's just screwing with you like you always say.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jackie said about swearing in, and then she had to explain to him what that
What
means.
meant? Yeah, that got me. I said, wait a minute.
Did you get your license out of a Cracker Jack box to be an attorney? Because like,
Yeah, she probably said.
Yeah,
Hey, guess what?
what's up?
We gotta wait 3 more months.
Okay.
And I have to be down in Texas in August.
All right. Well, I gotta go too then.
Yeah, I would like for you to go. It'd be like 4 days. I'm gonna see if Willie can go. I mean, you guys probably won't be able to be in the court, but you can be around. We'll see. But I need to.
Yeah, how you doing?
I need you to, somebody to be with me.
Oh, that's fine. I just figured we gotta figure out how this
How's
will
it
go
gonna-
down.
Yeah, well, he's gonna send me $2,000. And it's not gonna be enough, but at least,
Nothing.
no, that's nothing, but at least we get that. And I was telling Christine that we're gonna try to set up something where you could take the money that I'm paying rent to you guys, so my account is not so high, and that I'm living off of that. I'm paying rent and everything else.
Okay.
So
We'll just put it in another account.
yeah, she said there's
It'll be
another.
there for you.
Yeah, she said there's another account that you can use at Redwood. At Redwood
we're
Forest.
just gonna go and set up a transfer today, like a monthly transfer.
We're gonna set up a monthly transfer today.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay. So
All right, did Jackie call you that back or no?
not yet. She's gonna call me. She'll probably will call me. But yeah, it was something else. Christine heard it.
Well, Joe gonna have to go out there too?
Well, see, well, we have to ask Jackie when she calls. See, and that's another expense if she can even come. So we kind of got 3 months to figure it out, but we're gonna try to do it in less than a month, so we'll know in advance.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Yeah. That's all we can do. I did my best. But it sounds like the judge really likes Jackie though.
Well, when whoever's got all their stuff in order and is ready to go, they're gonna favor that person.
Yeah, well,
There doesn't have to baby them along.
yeah, but she didn't get the exhibit in on time, but she got it in the next day because he didn't send it all to her or something. So they got to redo that. Well, there's nothing else we can do. At least and they're gonna, He's gonna say, well, I had money to go to Atlanta and back.
Well, that doesn't matter because.
That's what Jackie told us. Is how do you know she didn't spend? How do you know she didn't have the money to go? We don't know where that money's coming from for her to
We
go.
paid for that,
And
as
he,
far as they know.
But the thing is, we paid for it and we have proof that we paid.
I know.
So-
And well, they should have said, well, you,
Well, Pearlie paid for you to get there
yeah,
and back,
and back. Yeah,
and we paid the difference, $60. So you did not pay for that. Pearlie did, and we did.
yeah. I think that's what she's trying to get across. But why make that statement when he know that he should have been out there?
Yeah, this
It
was
a-
because
a
of death in
funeral,
the family.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a pleasure. It wasn't a pleasure trip.
Yeah.
And has he been there for the family one time since that happened? No.
Nope.
Why didn't Jackie say that? That it was,
I don't
you know,
know.
that was for.
Jackie
funeral.
just said you
Death
can't
in the family.
assume she paid for that.
Doesn't even matter, like, the death in the family. She had to get there somehow.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, doesn't matter.
Well, I'll mention that to her.
Uh-huh.
I'll mention that to her when she calls. If she don't call me, I'll call her.
And your boyfriend Pearlie paid for
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was getting ready to say something. I said, no, I gotta be quiet.
Yeah, just let them do the talking.
Yeah,
Try not to say anything until they speak to you.
Yeah, that's what I did, you know. But when you brought that up, I was shocked.
But if there is something that you want to say, write it down. Just write, that's why the notepad there. Write
Yeah,
it down, so when it is your turn to talk, say, you remember.
yeah. Well, that you can hardly forget.
Well, yeah, but. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Okay, we'll do that.
I think too, that he's probably claiming that because, you know, you guys, you just came back from Atlanta, he's claiming that because.
But how does he know?
He doesn't know that I haven't come back.
How do they know she's in California?
Rudy told him, Rudy had to tell him.
Yeah, somebody had to tell him, because how would he know you flew back to California yesterday? How would he know that?
I don't think, well,
Rudy or Vivian, because that's the only one he's really talked to. He don't talk to Steven. Steven.
I don't know. We'll have to find out how, if they told him I was out there for that long. I think maybe he might be thinking that after the funeral, I came back to California instead of coming.
Oh, maybe they don't know it was yesterday.
They maybe, I don't think maybe they don't know that I came back yesterday. They're just saying, okay,
That she was there.
She was there, and then because he said.
But he said she could fly back to California, but she could, instead of coming to Texas.
Yeah,
So it sounded like they knew you just came back.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Well, we'll find out. I'll ask Vivian first.
No, call Rudy and ask Rudy first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And just say, hey, have you talked to Dad? Did you tell him that I was coming back home?
It doesn't really
Yes,
matter. What does it matter?
It doesn't really matter.
At
Well,
this
it
point,
matters what you say to him from now on.
Yeah.
So,
But I asked her, I said, when, you know, have you talked to your dad? Did your dad call you? He said, no. I know Vivian's talked to him.
call Vivian and ask him.
Yeah, I'll call Vivian.
Maya?
All right, you going back to work. We'll see you when you get here. Oh, you haven't even started, huh? Okay, well, all right then. We'll see you when you get home.
All right.
All right, love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You hear me, Bert?
Okay, what time? Oh, it's just 8:20.
Yeah, oh, I got all day.
Yeah, I got all day.
We got the next 3 months to do what we want to do.
Yeah,
And it'll be done before we go to Hawaii.
yeah, oh yeah. And we're not gonna say anything about that.
Well, and that's what Rudy, you need to make sure that, you know what I mean, Rudy's not talking about stuff like that to his dad.
Yeah,
I don't think he would, because Rudy's not a talker.
no,
You have to be asked
Asked.
for Rudy to say.
say that. But I'm gonna tell him anyway,
Yeah.
just to be on the safe side. Okay, so The-
Yes.
You have to go to Texas now. August. Why does she have to go? Because
There's a
they're,
toaster in your room?
I had it in the bathroom for you, because they're requesting her to be there. They're saying now they won't do it unless she's there. You might be able to go there, you won't be in school yet, depends on if you're conditioning for basketball. Dad might let you go, but it's gonna cost for a plane ticket, so I don't know, you have to talk to dad.
And we'll see how everything goes. I might be taken out of my time wise, school wise.
Well, and if we're transferring the money into the other account, you can use that one too.
Yeah.
You might be able to go. Because we talked to dad. Mhm. See what he thinks. Just depends on if you're doing conditioning for basketball for school or not. Make yourself a ciabatta toast for.
Oh, cereal.
Oh, you do?
What is a ciabatta toast?
It's just ciabatta bread and you toast it. It's good.
You
Want a
can have like
piece?
a half of it. and split it half.
Share one with her and then have that and a bowl of cereal.
You can have big piece. Because
They're
that's
big
good.
over
Oh,
there,
okay, yeah.
You can put like butter on it.
Maya, so you're out at 12:30, we can go out to lunch.
35.
I'll take you and Mima to get some lunch after school.
We can go to Wendy's because you can get a salad and I can get a burger.
Oh, I
Sound
got a
good?
burger too. Yeah.
Oh, I know you like salad, so
Oh,
we're trying
yeah,
to.
I like
think of-
burgers too. I haven't had one for a while. You know, I don't want to be running early around just to go to hamburger places
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That's why I didn't even get my nails done the second time. Because I didn't want to ask her to wait on me. And I tried to get her. I said, well, I can,
Maya,
I'm there, manicure.
Yeah.
But
Those are my masks.
This is Grant, it's my HR manager's son, and Amaya gave him these masks, they were too small for her, and she said he loves the mask. He's worn it in the house all morning long.
wow.
They were like for basketball, and so there was a small and a medium. First, my mom got the medium, but they were too big. Like,
Uh-oh.
I
Uh-oh.
see it. Let me see. I'll get it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Well, don't feel bad. The lady on the plane that was sitting in front of me, I guess she was laying down like this here, and she got her head the ear thing, and it dropped and had it right under my feet. And she heard something, but she wasn't sure. And then she touched her nose. I heard it. I said, I got it.
Give me the light on.
I got it.
I got it. And she, thank you so much.
It's so dusty out under there already. You moved this out.
I just did under there like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's already so dusty.
Well, I didn't do it super good, I just got the big chunky that I pulled it out.
Yeah, there's big chunks there back.
But I
see.
You know what I mean, I just pulled it so far, I could have missed this spot.
Yeah, I could see it right.
What were you talking about?
Yeah.
You're
I don't
talking
know,
about.
I might have just showered. Okay, thanks for that for.
Yeah, don't get it fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the mask.
Oh, yeah, there's too big in like the ear part,
Mhm.
like, cause I usually have to twist mine anyway, and I twisted it and it was still like coming down, cause I have to play in the
Oh, yeah.
So we're trying to find one, because my dad doesn't like me wearing the paper masks, because he says I inhale things, and
Yeah,
it's
you
not
can.
good for you.
Not good. Yeah.
And then those ones, they were like meant for basketball, but they're too big, so then we got the small, but it was too small in like the mask part,
Oh, okay.
so.
So you give it to him and he's wearing it.
They're really comfortable, like you actually can breathe like through them and everything, but they just don't fit.
It just don't fit.
I think my dad has. Yeah. He probably let me use one.
People ask me. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave him the beat.
Okay, well, now I gotta make that call to find out when his minerals gonna be.
How do you like your bread? Do you like it super toasted or is it like this good?
That's good.
You want to put butter on
Yeah,
it?
we'll put some butter on it.
You don't have to finish it.
No, I'll probably will finish it.
You like a lot of butter or a little butter?